What's up, you guys, and welcome back to episode 11 on the channel. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving with your friends and loved ones. I did with my girlfriend and her family down in Palm Springs, but now I'm back in Los Angeles to make some more content for you guys. So this is episode number 11, and it's actually a special one for me because it's the first time that people reached out to me on YouTube and Instagram and asked if I was going to be at a certain casino. I told them that I was going to go down to Morongo, and actually a bunch of people showed up. One of them gave me a gift, another one gave me a gift in the form of a big bluff, so that was funny. I just started this channel like a month ago, and already we had somewhat of an unofficial meetup game at Morongo Casino last week. I mentioned in the last video, make sure you stay tuned to the end of this video to see if I ended up booking a profit. If I did, I'm going to tell you to drop a comment, and then I'm going to pick a couple people to Venmo some money to, just as a thanks of this channel being monetized recently. So yeah, stay tuned to the end because that's how you'll find out if I won or not. If I didn't win any money, I'm not going to send out money because otherwise I'll just start losing money like crazy. But yeah, just a nice thing that I wanted to do for you guys as a token of my appreciation. I wanted to go over a couple comments real quickly. I'm going to try to do these rapid fire, but I just wanted to give some attention to these comments because some of them were really nice and really funny. So yeah, let's go over two nice comments real quick. The first one says, "This is the first video I've seen of yours, by far the best editing in poker vlogs and unreal music choice. I really appreciate that comment. I put a lot of time into editing and trying to get cool cinematics for you guys." And the second one from Ping Jang Lu says, "Starting to love this guy, nice content, great ideas, keep striving, my dude." Thanks, guys. I really appreciate the support. I try to put together high quality videos for you guys, and it's comments like these that really make me continue doing what I'm doing. So yeah, thank you. Garrison Torres says, "How long have you been playing poker for?" Probably since I was like 16, but I went over the full story in the last video. I'll put a link right up here. I went over what actually got me into poker with my two best friends in Chicago. So yeah, click on this link up here if you want to see the answer to that question. Next question is a serious one from Michael. It says, "Is your dad Vanilla Ice?" You know what? I'm going to ask him, and I'll get back to you guys. Next question comes from Joey P, and it says, "Is the girlfriend happier with your poker, sports betting, or whichever one more that week?" And let's be honest, you guys, is anyone's girlfriend or wife really stoked that you either play poker, gamble, or sports bet? So yeah, I mean, she puts up with it, but it's not like her favorite thing. You know what I mean? And finally, the best question of the day, and that comes from Fruze Ball Nation, and it says, "What type of protection do you prefer, SPF 10 or SPF 50? And I like to live dangerously, so you got to go with SPF 10. You know, as a poker player and a gambler, we all like to live dangerously." And the last thing from Aoki Yannick says, "Please speak some German in your next videos." In the last video I mentioned that I had dual citizenship with Germany and the United States, so I guess that's where this question is coming from. And I wanted to say, "Ich würdige alle meine deutschen Subscribers und ich hoffe, dass ich sie eines Tages in Deutschland treffen kann." So I hope that that proved to you that I can speak some German. Obviously not perfect, try to work on my accent and my fluency, but yeah, that's something for the German subscribers out there. If you're not German, sucks. No, I'm just kidding. I said that I appreciate all my German subscribers, and one day I hope that I can meet you guys in Germany. So yeah, that's that. And I wanted to go over one quick tip from this poker forum I'm on Facebook. And it says, "This is an open-ended but important question. What is currently the best way to study or get better at live, low-stakes, no-limit cash, 2-5 and under specifically?" And a comment said, "Fold pre. Say less." Okay, let's jump into some hands, you guys. I tried to keep that beginning part short, so let's get right into some hands. That's why you came here. We started off at the 1-3 table here at Morongo. We were just at this 1-3 table because we were on the wait list for the 2-5 with all of our friends. We only played one hand there, and that's when we had ace-jack off. Everyone folds to a raise, and we pick up $3, and then we get moved to the 2-5 table. So we jump over to the 2-5 table, and we run into Cheyenne. Cheyenne is a vlog watcher and a crazy poker player, to say the least, and he's done a really good job so far, as you can see in this clip, working up a decent stack here. He just lost a hand, and that was pretty much the same way the rest of the night from here on out would go for him. Sorry, Cheyenne, it's probably going to be a video roasting you. We pick back up with him here, where we can see he just paid off another player who had quad jacks. He's not too happy about it, but obviously the guy who had quad jacks is, and it's pretty interesting for the vlog here. Sets the tone for what's going to happen in the entirety of this 2-5 session. First hand here is against a vlog watcher, and it was really nice to meet you. We shook hands, talked a little bit, and we talked a little bit after this hand, and you'll see why in a minute here. I have 520 in my stack, and we looked down at ace-9 of diamonds from middle position. Under the gun +1 raises to $15. I call and the small blind puts in the call. So we're going 3 ways to the flop, which comes ace-9 king with 2 hearts. So obviously we flop top pair and bottom pair. Pretty good hand here. We're going to be ahead of the opener's range a lot of the time, unless he specifically has ace-king, pocket aces, or pocket kings. So those are the only hands we're really worried about. Checks to me now, which I think is interesting. And I'm not going to let it check through here. I'm going to bet $20. And both people make the call. So we're going 3 ways to the turn with around 110 in the pot, which comes to 7 of diamonds. Checks to me again here, and when I think it gets checked to me here for a second time, we have to bet again. We have 2 pair, which is going to be pretty strong here. I want to get value from the type of hands that the under the gun was raising pre-flop and connected with the board enough to call a flop bet. I size up here to $80 here. The small blind makes the fold, and the under the gun +1 now check raises me to 200. It's starting to be a little bit suspicious here now. If he goes for the check on the flop, now check raise on the turn, he could be throwing in some aces and kings and ace-king into this range here. So we can't fold yet, I think, with our ace-9. We have to evaluate what he does on the river after calling, but we're definitely hesitant now here after he sprung a mini trap on us here. So we put in the call, and the river now with $510 comes the queen of hearts. So the hearts gets there, the backdoor straight draw gets there, and now he jams for $500 covering me, and I just don't really know what we could be calling here. We have 2 pair, which is pretty good, but also we've been telling the story in the flop and the turn that we have a good hand, because we bet when check 2 and then called the check raise on the turn, so it's not like we've been underplaying our hand. We've been playing it pretty fast here. So when he does this here and he just rips it in, it smells like something like a flush. It smells like something like a straight, or maybe even a hand like ace-queen that got there on the river. So I put in the fold, and the reason why I said we talked, this is with the subscriber, we talked afterwards, is because he pulled me aside and he told me that he gave me the bluff. He said that he had queen 10 and he turned his pair of queens into a bluff. So that was a great play there. He told me not to get mad or tell anybody else about it. I didn't tell anyone at the table, but I'm telling all 1,500 of you guys. Great bluff there. Really didn't think that you'd have a 1 pair type hand there. I thought it was for sure a flush or a straight. But you got me there, you made the vlog, and we're going to go on to the next hand. We were bought for another $200 there because I want to stay in the $500 range. And we have 470 in our stack, and we look down at king of clubs, queen of spades from the button. Cheyenne reminded me that I should just say I have king queen offsuit so I don't look stupid. But Cheyenne, I'm going to do what I want to do here because it's my vlog. If you make a vlog, you know, tell me down in the comments. Yeah, so we're going to have king of club, queen of spades on the button. It folds to me. I raise it up to $20, and the big blind puts in the call. Flop with $42 in it. Now comes jack 9-4 rainbow. Checks to me. I c-bet for $25, and he puts in the fold. So I wanted to include this here just to show you guys that I'm c-betting in these types of hands. With 475 now in our stack, we look down at king 6 of diamonds from the small blind. There are 4 limps to me, I complete, and the big blind checks. Pretty standard, no point in putting in a raise here in my opinion. The flop with $30 in it now comes king of spades, 10 of diamonds, 6 of clubs. So we have 2 pair. I lead for $10 into 30, and middle position player puts in the call. Turn now comes a deuce of diamonds, so I have everything here. I have 2 pair, and I also have a backdoor flush draw. I bet $35 here, and he puts in the call. And the river now with $120 in it comes the 5 of hearts. I put in a bet for $75 here. Obviously we didn't make our flush, but we have 2 pair on the flop, so I think it's good enough for 3 barrels here. And he puts in the fold. I think another interesting line could be if we check called. So if we check here, maybe he tries to bluff with some type of draw that didn't connect, and then we can just call him off pretty easily. But I went for the 3 barrels there, and he didn't put in the call, so unfortunately we don't get another $75 of value. Oh well, we still win it. Nice flop. On to the next hand. $500 now in our stack. We look down at king of diamonds, queen of hearts from the cutoff. The straddle is on, and there's 1 limp. I raise it up to $40 now over the straddle and the limp. Middle position player, who's the limper, is Cheyenne, so shout out to you, and he puts in the call. Not surprising. The flop with $90 in it comes 10-7-4. Flop goes check, check. The turn comes a 6 of spades. He bets $30. What am I going to do here? I don't feel like putting in a raise. I don't feel like putting in a call, floating him here. So I put in the fold. And as you can see here in this clip, he taunts us. I use that word strongly. He taunts us with ace of hearts, 5 of spades for the complete airball bluff. Yeah, so bluffed us here and he showed us. I mean, was it really a bluff though? Because he was ahead. could have been a value. I don't know. You tell me, Cheyenne.
I got more money than both of you.
You think? You think?
Man.
You have $1 million. So you think $1 million's more than us? My house is worth more than $1 million, bro.
Next hand with $400, we look down at Jack 10 of diamonds from late middle position. Middle position, Cheyenne raises to $10. I'm having none of that. I put in the call. The low jack raises to 50 now, and the small blind calls, big blind calls, Cheyenne calls, and I'm not going anywhere now with a good price here, so I put in the extra $30. Flop with $200 in it comes ace of diamonds, 7 of diamonds, 5 of hearts. So we flop a flush draw, and that's about it. The small blind leads for $80 with 40 behind. It folds to me, and I think about it here for a minute. I know he only has 40 behind. I'm supposed to be looking at his stack. I did. There's 200 in the pot here, so when he puts 80 into 200, just 80 for me to call here and see if I can hit a diamond. If I'm the only one who calls, there's only $40 more that's going in on the turn. So I just put in the $80, and I'm the only one who does. So with $360 now in the pot, the turn comes to 7 of spades, not the card we wanted to see. He does what we thought he was going to do and puts in the remaining portion of his stack, which is $40. I'm not going anywhere. I've already committed myself on the flop, so I put in the call. The river now with 440 in the pot comes to 8 of diamonds. We get there. What a luck box we are. He shows ace queen offsuit, so he obviously had top pair with the queen kicker on the flop. We show our hand, we scoop it. That is a great pot for us, a great stack builder. Really lucky, but I think, you know, when there's 280 in the pot, it's 80 for us to call. Someone else puts in the call there. I mean, we're getting pretty good odds to hit our flush. That's what I did. At this point, another vlog watcher friend comes over and gives me a super cool Brazilian hat, as you can see from this clip. Yo, thanks for the hat, man.
You're welcome, brother.
Sick. Although I do like Germany, and I think we got you in the World Cup.
You guys got me, but you know, it's soccer. Like, we have 5 World Cups, but you know, it's soccer, and hope you like the hat, bro.
Thanks, man. His name is Alan, and he's a really good friend, and I really appreciate the gift, Alan. You didn't have to give me that. I'm a Germany fan. You should know that. You know, Germany and Brazil tend to not really like each other due to the 7-1 win we had in the World Cup a couple years back.
It's on it, it's gone through, Germany score! Chance and a second for Germany. Brazil in real trouble. On Sunday they might get another one here. Astonishing, it's all over now. 2 for Kroos in 2 minutes. Brazil, they're queuing up. They're on. Alarm. Square, 6-0 it is. But they might have number 7 here now.
But, you know, if anyone wants to give me gifts, I really appreciate soccer gifts. I'll let bygones be bygones, and I'll accept this gift. Thank you very much, Alan. And I end up putting it on for the rest of this session. With 660 now in our stack, we look down at ace-5 of spades from the small blind. Got 1 limp to me, and I raise it up to $20, and the big blind is the only person who puts in the call. Heads up to the flop, which comes queen-5 deuce with 2 diamonds. So we have middle pair, that's about it. Maybe a backdoor straight draw. It goes check, check. Turn with $45 in it comes to 7 of diamonds. I bet $15 here. I think this is a stupid play on my part. And he raises me to $100, and I put in the fold. I don't really give him credit for much here, but I think he's just taking advantage of my check back on the turn, and then his range advantage being that he comes from the big blind. But either way, you know what, I put in the fold. Shouldn't be betting there on the turn, should just check it again and see what he does. On to the next hand. $580 now in our stack. We look down at pocket 3s from the middle position. There's 1 link to me. I raise it up to $15 here. I want to keep my range really wide. I do this with all my ace-king, ace-queen type hands. I want to do it with my pocket pairs as well. I don't want to just be limping here with all my pocket pairs, and then everyone knows when I limp and then call a lot of bets on the flop on the turn. Probably have a set because I did that with a pocket pair. So I raise it up to $15 here. Cheyenne from the big blind raises to $45. The limper cold calls, and I end up putting in the call. So we're going 3 ways to the flop with $135 in the pot. Comes deuce, deuce, 6 with 2 clubs. Cheyenne leads out now for $55, and I should be putting in the call here all day. Cheyenne's the type of player that if I am correct that he's bluffing here, he'll fire on the turn and the river huge. And with pocket 3s here, I'd prefer to be a little bit higher up in my range, like somewhere in the neighborhood of pocket 5s, pocket 7s, pocket 8s, something like that. So just in case he's overvaluing a 6 here, I don't get caught in a weird situation where I'm picking off a bluff, but he's actually bluff betting, you know, with a better hand, stuff like that. So I put in the fold, and he shows an ace and says the other one was paint. So we were ahead, but if he fires a turn in the river, depending on what the cards are, he could connect or he could represent them, and you know, it's going to be tough for us to hold on, so we fold that one. Nice hand again, Cheyenne. We'll get you one day. Damn, you're leaving, bro?
I'm gonna pay you off right there. How much do I?
Big win.
Yeah, casual. Can't say the same about this guy.
So 85
At this point, something bad happened. I was filming, you know, Cheyenne doing all these crazy things, all the table action, my gift from Alan, and the floor actually caught me filming and told me not to film anymore, so I obliged, put my phone away, which was a bummer because of this last hand here. I really wish I would have got this on film, but you're just going to be staring at my face for this one, so I apologize for that. $470 now in our stack. We look down at ace of spades, king of diamonds from the late middle position. Straddle is on. There are 2 calls, and I raise it up to $50 here. Cheyenne and the straddle calls, and the early middle position player also puts in the call, so there's $160 going to the flop. Flop comes queen of clubs, jack of clubs, 8 of spades here. We just have a gutter to the 10. That's pretty much all we have. We have 2 overcards, obviously. Checks to me. I bet $55 here, and it folds to the middle position player who decides to put in the call here. His range, what I'm putting him on here, is a 1-pair type hand, possibly a queen jack if he's strong. But I don't know if he calls $50 with queen jack pre-flop, so maybe something in the neighborhood of king queen, king jack, maybe a pair and a straight draw type of hand, backdoor flush draw, who knows, with a club. The turn with 270 in it comes the 9 of diamonds, goes check check here. So when it goes check check here and I check behind, I think that if I get check 2 on the river here, I could go for a bluff. I think that if he had a value type of hand that he wanted to get value from and not go into check call mode, I think he would have fired on the turn, maybe let into us, or he would fire on the river, having this value on the turn. So let's check behind here and see what happens on the river. River now comes the 3 of hearts. He leads for $60, so like I thought, he wants to get value here. This is definitely not a bluff in my opinion. So the question is, can we go for a raise here that gets him to fold a $60 bet? 60 into 270, so it is fairly small. So if we're looking at the size of the bet compared to the size of the pot, it's a small bet. And small bets usually mean that they're trying to block, they're trying to go for value, but they don't want to really get raised here and call a bigger bet. So I do something that I don't normally do here, and I know you guys are going to enjoy this because you guys enjoy seeing abnormal things here, but I actually go for the raise here and I put him all in for another $170 here, and he goes into the tank. He's in the tank here, which means that he probably has a hand that's what we thought, like a pair and a straight draw type hand, something that wanted to make sure it didn't get checked through on the river because he wanted some value, but something he didn't want to get raised with. Eventually he puts in the fold and says that he has a jack, so that's a little strange the way he played it. I don't know if I would be leading in the river with the jack. I'd probably still go into check call mode. But that was a great raise from us because I showed the bluff, I showed the ace king for ace high. His jack would have scooped it. He's a little frustrated right there. I didn't think that we were going to be doing that with an ace high type hand, but I'm glad we did. I'm glad we sniffed it out that it was a weak bet. Decided to capitalize on that and put in the big raise there, forcing him to commit his entire stack. That was a hand we wish we would have filmed, but we couldn't. We don't want to get kicked out of Morongo. Glad that bluff worked out. Very cool to share it with you guys on this channel. We've got in for $700 and we cashed out for $692. So we lost $8 there. If we factor in the 1-3 session where we played for 10 minutes and made $3, still lost $5 in this session. So unfortunately, I'm not giving any money to you guys. Haha, sucks. No, I really want to give you guys money, so you're gonna have to tune back in for the next video to see if I end up booking a profit there. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so that way you'll get a notification when I upload. It's a way to be more personal with me, and I really appreciate it. Also hit the like button. Leave a comment down below if you wanted to see something, or if you have a different opinion on how I played a specific hand. Big shout out to Alan and the other vlog watchers for tuning in and deciding to come out to Morongo and meet up with me. I really appreciate that. It's super cool that this early on in my channel, I'm already having people that support the channel enough to come out to Morongo and meet up with me. There's a couple people that left comments after the meetup, and they said, you know, I wish I was there, etc. So once I get bigger, I wasn't planning on doing this already, but once I get bigger, I'll definitely plan something, maybe with Mariano, maybe with some other LA-based poker vloggers, and we can get a big group out to Morongo or the Bicycle or Agua Caliente or something like that. But yeah, stay tuned for that. Good luck at the tables, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Thanks for watching to the end of my video. Click my head below to subscribe and stay in the loop. See you next time.